today we showed that we're still there.
And of course, we talked about missing players. One of those was Rodri. When the team didn't have him last season, they struggled a lot more. So did you feel like, look, it's my job to step up and make sure the team doesn't miss him?
Well, of course, I play today some kind of his role, but we are always missing Rodri because he's if not the best player in the world, one of the best. So we miss him, of course, but like I said, when the players are not there, there are others to come in and to play their part.
Yeah, and tell us about your goal and particularly the celebration or the non-celebration. It looked like just for a split second you went to celebrate because it was a good finish, and then you realised where you were.
I don't score many goals, so of course when you score you want to celebrate, but I have a huge respect for Chelsea. I played here for 5 years and had a great connection with the club, with the fans, so of course out of respect didn't celebrate, but of course I'm happy that my team won and that I could score, of course, which is for me not always the most important. The most important is the team, and we showed great character today.
And lastly, does this show that the hunger and the drive somehow just never dips with this Man City team?
Yeah, that's what... when I came in, what I saw straight away, that this team is hunger for winning every game, every season.
Relentless.
And yeah, it's really incredible how they're always there, and it's just a pleasure to be part of it and to be one of them and fight for the titles.
Well done.
Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah, vital cog in the City wheel today. We'll come to his particular role in a moment, but let's have a look at his goal that sealed the win. From a City and a personal point of view for Kovacic, a lovely strike.
It was, yeah, very positive. He won the ball back, picked the ball back up from a clearance, and then he was positive, nipped past a couple of players. And then the finish was quite good as well. The way he just opened his body out, made everyone think that he was going to the far corner, and then almost, we call it giving the eyes, but this is positive play. You know, you don't want to lose it in this situation. And there he goes, opening his ball and then whipping it across his body to say, giving the goalkeeper the eyes. It was good stuff, and that put the seal on the deal, really.
Yeah, it was a good, positive run. Roberto Sanchez got himself in a little bit of a pickle with his feet, having played that ball out. A great press from Haaland, put the pressure on. Kovacic has nicked the ball here, probably looking for who can I pass to forward. The whole place has opened up. He's seen his angle, as Michael said there, giving him the eyes. We think Sanchez could be slightly over. He's given him a lot of the goal. I think he's got a little bit lost in his goal with the readjustment from giving the ball away. But he's actually, I talked about in the first half, this goalkeeper's got an incredible spring. So his spring does actually get him out of trouble. It's just the timing on the hand. I think he'll feel that he could have done better with there. With all that's gone on, got himself in a difficult position, got himself out of it, and then timed it all wrong.
I think he was looking. He was worried about Fofana, and Fofana plays the ball long. And if you see it again from behind, he's running backwards. He's not really set himself, and he finds his geography is not quite there. Plus, also, Joe, if you look at that, he's took off from his 2 feet. He hasn't got one step in.
That would be his balance, as you say,
yeah.
Glenn. He's slightly on his back foot.
As Kovacic is hitting the ball, he's still setting himself backwards.
Yeah.
And he can't. And then he dives from his feet there, rather than getting one step in and dives. He saves it.
Yeah, but you know that's Premier League football. You know, there's many occasions you can set up where someone. Technically, if someone shoots from 20 yards out, you want to be set on both feet, ready to take a tiny step and spring. But with what's gone on, with the way the game moves and the press and the pace, and is Kovacic going to play a through ball? No, he hasn't. He's whipped it. All that's going on in your mind. And like I say, what takes the top goalkeepers to the next level is no matter what position they're in, they're able to get there. And he was able to get there. That's his unique style, but just the timing's just not right.
Didn't get his little step in. If he gets a little step in, I think he's across another half a hand and saves it. He dives from his 2 feet.
He is. He's such an incredible athlete that he can get himself out of that trouble. But like I say, the timing of the hand would concern me more than not getting the step in.
Interesting. What about Kovacic's role? He talked about it there. He was asked to play a little bit deeper today in the absence of Rodri.
Yeah, well, we've spoken about it a lot, haven't we? Rodri never gets injured. He's an ever-present. Pep Guardiola never drops him, never rests him. He hardly even brings him off in a game either. So is it that they just can't do without him, or is it that he doesn't trust many other people? We mentioned beforehand, Calvin Phillips came and went as a sort of an understudy. And now if he's out, then it looks like they've got somebody that they can probably trust. I mean, going to Chelsea, there's not many bigger tests in the Premier League without probably at least one of your best players, if not the best player, certainly the most important player in there. So he's just shown, together with the others in midfield, that they can obviously, tough it out in there and come out with a good win. Now, inevitably, he'll go straight back in, Rodri, when he's back and ready to go. But it'd be comforting to know for all City fans and certainly the City manager that they can do it without him.
Because it's the first time they've won an away game without Rodri in 2.5 years.
Look, they're big moments, and this squad comes up against big tests. They test themselves, they push each other. You know, as Michael's just said, that'll be a great thing to have in the back of their mind, because Pep Guardiola, for all of his brilliance, to have one position that he can't quite cover in so many different ways would have been tough and would have played on his mind. There's only so long someone can play week in, week out at the high level that Rodri does. He can now, with that in mind, with those facts in place that, you know, Kovacic has gone to Stamford Bridge, played really, really well. He can look after Rodri, and as I say, with international games, it's a 60, 65 game season for these boys.
He'll wrap Erling Haaland in cotton wool as well, understandably, with his record. His goal in the first half set City on their way. Lovely finish.
That was a fabulous finish, it really was. I think we were expecting him to hit it earlier. Once he gets the touch in, and you're thinking he's going to hit it quickly, but he uses his body, it's his strength as well. Look, lovely little touch from Silva. There, look, the body strength to keep that ball shielded away from Cucurella. He can't make a tackle. We've gone through the defensive side, poor for Chelsea, but once he gets that touch in the centre of the pitch, and this, Michael would know this morning, that the best strikers become calmer in those situations. The worst ones panic, and their touch isn't right. There, bang, now uses his body, and then the little dink. He's just waiting for the keeper to make that little save, or try to spread his body. Look, there you go, dink. Great goal. What a finish.
See, he can score that type of goal. He's so big and so strong that it doesn't matter who's on his back there. See, Cucurella's trying to get... He just bounces off him. Like, I could never score that type. I'd have to hit it early or try to run away and take it into
Because of his sheer strength, you mean?
Yeah, people just bounce off him. So as soon as he's got the ball, if he just shifts it to his left foot, whoever's on this side of his body are just... They're pointless, they're useless, they can't do anything. He's so strong, he keeps everybody away. So all he's got to worry about is what's on that side of the pitch, what's on that side, who's the danger to the ball over there. Whereas most of us, when we're in that type of... We're worried about anything. You know, we can get bumped off the ball, so we really need a clean hit at it. So I looked at when he first had that chance, I said, oh, he's going to hit, you know, I thought he was going to hit it first time, take a touch on his back foot and then left foot finish. But no, he's so confident that no one's going to get it to the left-hand side of him. Well, then it doesn't matter, because keep the ball to your left and no one's going to get near you because of his strength. It's such an advantage being, of course, that size and shape and have that strength. And he uses it perfectly well.
And I guess from a goalkeeper's point of view, even, you think he's going to do what Michael said and then he does something else.
Yeah, I think to have that, he's that confident in his ability and his strength. He knew full well that whoever it was on his shoulder, he could take his time and come up with the finish that he wanted to do. As you say there, made Sanchez go down. The moment that Sanchez starts going down, there's only so much of the goal he can finish. Reverse, it was almost impossible for him to reverse it past the post. So he had that comfort, head down, lovely finish, great timing, and such a strong, beautiful goal.
It's a good job you're paying him compliments, because he's ready to speak to us live at Stamford Bridge now. Erling, good to see you. Listen, you've played in 3 opening days of the Premier League, and we've spoken to you every time after a win and after scoring. So I think that the Manchester City fans will like this habit we're having on our opening day conversations.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like it as well, and fantastic to be back. And yeah, 3 points. So we go again.
And how pleasing was that today for Chelsea away in the first game?
Yeah, last year we didn't win here. It was 4-4, and we didn't win against Chelsea. So a great start. You know, it's not easy. It's never easy to come to Stamford Bridge, no matter when or where or whatever. So to get 3 points here was a nice thing, and I'm really happy.
And we've been saying you had pretty much control throughout the whole game. You didn't look in too much danger today, City.
Yeah, it's incredible how controlled or how relaxed the defenders, Ederson, and the midfielders are with the ball. It's ridiculous. I don't understand how they can do it. So all praise to them, seriously.
Now listen, another goal for you. The Ballon d'Or winner of like yesteryear wants to go through your finish with him. Go on, Michael.
No, I was just explaining how many people, Erling, can't score the goal that you scored there, because you've got such confidence, one, in your touch and your ability, but two, in your strength. Cucurella was on your right-hand side. As soon as you take it to the left, nobody's going to get near you. All you have to do is worry about what's on your left-hand side, whereas somebody like me could get bounced around by anybody. And I was thinking you might take it one touch and then take it straight away, but you've got such strength that you can pick your finish.
Yeah, I took a couple more extra touches because I don't know if you remember last year, Sanchez had a great save on me, so I had this in the back of my head. So that's why I went on him, or through him, or to him, and then to Chip. It was a fantastic goal.
Yeah. And I was just wondering as well, of course, I'm sure you would have been even happier to be in the European Championships with Norway this summer. But is there a benefit in having that summer off? Do you come back fitter and stronger than everybody else, do you think?
Yeah, I've had 5 weeks vacation and no preparation for the Euros, and I didn't play Euros. So if you look in that way, it's really positive to don't play the Euros. I get more rest in my head than others, and I get the full preseason. So no disrespect to anything or whatever, but as a football player, you need a vacation as well, and you need to relax your head, and it's becoming less and less, and that's not good.
Hi, Erling. Joe here. Just wanted to say, firstly, congratulations. Amazing performance. 100 appearances. Your record is phenomenal for the club. This is your 3rd season now, and we're just talking about the fact that you were able to have the summer and come back and start the pre-season. I was just wondering how you feel at 24 years old, obviously in age. That's not a big number, but with your experience, what role you played this pre-season, representing Manchester City, the captain's armband, driving the standards. You look like a kind of player who would really enjoy that. How did you enjoy the tour of America and really leading this young City team through this pre-season?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. It was a good pre-season for me. I've never felt better. I actually don't have, or now I have a bit of pain somewhere because I got kicked a couple of times. But in general, I don't have any pain in my body, which is the first time in a long time. So that's amazing, first of all. And then you can also push yourself more because you don't have to have something in the back of your head. And yeah, as I said, I had a long pre-season. We travel a lot and this and that, but I enjoyed it. A lot of young guns with us, and to be captain was amazing. I enjoyed it, and I think we have one captain in the team, but there's so many leaders in this group. You may not see it and this and that, but look, as I just said, how calm the defense is, how much confidence they give us, just keeping the ball easy and this and that, and. Yeah, we have a lot of leaders in this team, and I'm so happy to be here, and for Pep to push us and to keep pushing us now throughout the season, because there's going to be a lot of games. So I'm ready to go again.
Sure you are. Well done today. We'll look forward to talking on the opening day next season after more goals and another win.
See you then.
Cheers, Erling. Erling Haaland, live at Stamford Bridge. That was really interesting insight. You're right, he is stepping up that maturity and seniority.
Yeah, I think he looks like a player to me who craves that. He loves football, first and foremost. He looks like he loves being part of a team. We just referenced there how he was congratulating Kovacic. How many times, Champions League winner, how many times? But he's the kind of player who always wants to be saying well done, pushing people, congratulating the defence, Edison for their calmness. He's old before his years, but that's a compliment. He just wants to get better, and I think that would have really helped him, that responsibility this year. He signed for City 2 years ago, and it was a will it work, won't it work? How can Pep make it happen? He's one of the faces of Manchester City now, and he fully deserves to do it. And he interviews really, really well. He's a great example.
Absolutely. And when you're a manager and you've got a guy who's played 100 games and scored 91 goals, he's got half a chance.
I was going to ask him that, actually. Did you ever dream of scoring 91 out of 100 goals? Amazing. But the thing that what we don't see in his game so much, because teams drop in and City have got the ball, is his power and his pace that he can get in behind. We don't see that much of it. Maybe in Europe, when the team's coming at you in Europe, you can see him open his legs, and he's got pace as well as the strength that we spoke about, technical ability, can jump higher than probably anyone in the league with his headers. He's got absolutely everything, and a great attitude by the looks of things.
And the funny thing is that when he signed, I used to watch him playing for Dortmund and think, wow, he's brilliant over the top. Yeah. Power, pace, one-on-ones, he's brilliant. Yeah. Is he going to be able to be that box player that... Yeah. And straight away, then he shows everybody, and everyone says, oh, can he do all the other stuff? He doesn't touch... Well, he showed that on other teams, for his national team and in Germany before. It's just the circumstances, what he's presented with. You cannot stop this guy. You drop off short, and he's too big and too strong in the box. You want to push up high, he's too fast and too strong running past you. I don't know how you can defend when someone's bigger, faster, stronger than you and can finish. good luck.
Do you know what fascinated me when he said these goal scorers and what they remember? If you remember, he said last year Sanchez made a save for me in that situation.
He knew,
I mean, all the football that's gone since then, and he remembers that.
Yeah, well, that's you can tell that's the kind of player he is. He studies it, he eats, drinks, he breathes it. It's great to see. You know, I think it's really inspirational that a guy that we've talked about his attributes, but you can tell he only wants to get better. Truly humble, wants to learn, wants to be a great teammate.
It shows you actually what a rest does as well.
Yeah.
Although, you know, Norway didn't, but we're always saying, oh, they're being overplayed, and which they are. And if you're in the international tournaments, World Cups and Euros, next year it's the World Club they're going to have to play from June and July. So, and players will get bogged down.
Champions League games.
Champions League games, more Champions League games. So, but he's had that rest. He's had 5 weeks rest, and it's mental rest as well. That's the key. He said it himself. He managed to switch off, and then he's come back hungry. Absolutely hungry again, but fresh hungry, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of players, it's like, I've been through it, but Michael, you've been through it. We've done World Cups and Euros as a player, and you go, oh, you've had 10 days off, that's all you've had, and you go again, you think, wow, this is going to be tough. And it's a mental side, but it just shows you when you do have a rest, you're a different animal.
Let's go back to Stamford Bridge. Sean Wright-Phillips there for us. He's had 11 weeks rest, so no wonder he's looking so energetic. You got your Man City win. What did you make of them today?
They were good. I was very impressed with Chelsea, to be honest with you. The change from them in pre-season to the way they played now was a massive improvement. And if they keep that going and improve on that, they will be a problem for a lot of teams. But I thought City controlled the game for the most parts, and especially with Savio before he came off, he was causing Cucurella all sorts of problems down the wing.
What about Kovacic's role today, not just the goal in the absence of Rodri?
Like I said, I saw him. He played massive roles like that through pre-season once he got there, and he was the guy that kind of tried to dictate, but he runs forward with the ball, and that's what he did for his goal. And the whip back across area is fantastic because it's hard for the keeper to see. And with Kovacic, you don't really expect him to shoot that often, but this one it's just a sublime finish.
Righty, it's Harty here, mate. Just want to ask you, another new era at Chelsea, another new era at Stamford Bridge, Enzo Maresca. How was the atmosphere? How did the crowd play a part in it today?
I was very surprised within the crowd, to be honest with you. I think Man City away fans were singing all the way through the game. The Chelsea fans were a bit quiet, and there was a stage where they were kind of trying to egg the team on because the way they were playing was quite slow in terms of the build-up play. I think what they're doing is correct, but they need to move it a bit quicker to get out of the situations they're putting themselves into.
John, Glenn Hoddle here. Hope you're well.
Hi, Glenn.
Did you see any difference there? I was waiting for something different from Chelsea. Different, maybe the way they were going to press, or the way they dropped off completely, or something different. For me, there wasn't that much change. Did you see it at the stadium?
The change was, if you remember earlier on in the game, they had like a high press where they tried to stop City from getting out. But I think City got out a few times, and then after that, it felt like they just dropped back further and further. And then once that happens, you know what City's like. They will just keep the ball and keep passing around the back until you come out and make those spaces for them to pop it through.
John, thank you very much indeed. See you soon, my friend.
It definitely will.
Of course, nobody likes to lose, but look beyond that for us at the bigger picture. What did you make of what you saw from your players and your team?
I think we competed very well. For a large part of the game, we were same level or some moment even better. I think the team was there, the performance was there. We create many chances. We didn't take the chance, but at the end, I think it was a good performance. As you said, we don't like to lose. We don't at all. But probably the big difference was inside the box. But I'm quite up in terms of performance.
Yeah, so just going on what you've just said there, was it for you almost a 50-50 game that was decided in the penalty box? One team more ruthless, more lethal than the other?
Yeah. As I said, for me the important thing is to create chances. We create chances. We didn't score, but we create chances, and also the difference has been quite tiny in terms of the first goal for them, almost offside, the goal that we score almost offside, these kind of things that at the end change the results, but overall the performance was good.
In terms of identity and style and the ideas you've tried to get through to your players over a 6-week pre-season, did you see your team out there? Did you see your ideas? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was quite clear. You can see the team that is trying to keep the ball, is trying to dominating. Doesn't matter with the opponent, with the other team. Today we were against the champion, and I think we try for some moment, a large part of the game, we did it. It's just now continue, and for sure we're gonna win games, and we're gonna be more happy.
Did you feel like you had real momentum, almost like halfway through that second half, and then I don't know whether you ran out of steam or just City's quality, they took a bit of sting out of the match?
Yeah, at the end they are master in this kind of moment. I think finish of the first half, last part of the first half, we had 2-3 clear chances. Second half also we have some good moment, and then at the end a little bit, you know, the first game of the season, they are, as I said, master keeping the ball. But yeah, overall, as I said, for me the performance was there, and it's important.
So we've been mainly positive in this interview. What were the things you didn't like? What problems did City give you? Did City give you, albeit they're a top team?
You can see the way they manage the ball, and that they are, as I said, they are master. Again, we compete against the champion. I don't know in terms of numbers, but I think in terms of chances, we had more or less the same chances. Keeping the ball, the possession, I think again was more or less there. And yeah, as I said, we don't like to lose, but the performance is there, the direction is good, and we just need to continue.
In terms of the players who aren't here today, I don't know if you're aware, but just before kick-off, Raheem Sterling's agent or camp have released a statement basically asking for clarification on his future. Is there anything you can tell us now?
To be honest, I didn't see.
Is that news to you?
I didn't see the statement because the game was there, and I have nothing to say. I just said before the game that was Declan's decision, no more than that.
Could he have a part to play under you? Because you talked a little bit about it on Friday, more with regard to Ben Chilwell. Could he have a part to play, or is he a player that's best looking elsewhere to get the minutes he wants?
No, in this moment, as you said, that the statement, that the clarification. In the next,
that's his people asking for that.
In the next day, we're gonna clarify if in case we need. But I have been already quite clear. It's just taking a decision.
Okay. But is the timing poor? That's coming out just before kickoff.
No. To be honest, I didn't see, so I don't know.
All right. I'll leave you in peace. Go on.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Interesting. Well, let's deal with that first of all. Raheem Sterling's agent before kickoff releasing a statement because he wasn't in the squad, saying he was still contracted to Chelsea and came back early and wanted to be involved.
I'm sure he did, yeah. Well, but I think the timing was poor, personally. I mean, obviously the manager's not going to say that. He hasn't seen the statement. I believe him there. I mean, he had bigger things to think of before the game. But when it came out, you know, a few minutes before kickoff, I thought it's a strange thing to say. I mean, the squad is that big at Chelsea. Did we mention there's about 45 players on their book? I mean, there's only, 20 odd named today. Was there 24 other agents writing a statement at the same time? I mean, it's ridiculous, really. So yeah, I'm sure clarification will come, and there will be 2 or 3, 4, 5 players that will probably be looking at pastures new. But I thought the timing was pretty poor.
As a manager, that would annoy you.
Yeah.
Having to
Isn't
face
that
that.
what you were referring to before the game, though? That the situation he's walked into with the numbers of players and the culture of the club that he's going to come up against now.
But surely the player must be in link with his agent putting that out. And that's not done him any good whatsoever, I can tell you that now. As a manager there, he'd be seething now. He'd be thinking, he'd be going to his press man, what's this about? Because he's had his mind on the game. And that's not going to do Sterling any good whatsoever. And the agent should know better, because that should be kept in-house. Those conversations are great conversations. It's good what he's come out with, but not the timing's wrong for the game and the club and the team, but also that should be in-house. Whatever people want to think is one thing, but in-house, have them conversations, then there'll be some clarity, a communication, and then eventually something can be given out by the player or the club. But that is poor.
He's obviously a former England teammate of yours. We mentioned how young that Chelsea team was today. A fit firing Raheem Sterling, is he someone Chelsea should be considering in their squad at the moment?
Well, that's what is tough to understand about the squad. It's tough to understand the direction that they're going in. A fit-firing Raheem Sterling is a top player. He scores goals, he guarantees you goals. I mean, we talk about how good Manchester City are and all the trophies that they've won recently. He was at the forefront of that a few years ago. So there's no getting away from the fact that he's a winner. He's someone who brings a winning mentality. Hey, look, it's not ideal, but Chelsea have invited that. It's not surprising. You know, obviously it's not ideal, and if everyone wants to be prim and proper and perfect, then you don't put that out, you deal with it in-house. But that's not how Chelsea works. They've got 45 people on their books, well-paid young men who want to make it in the game. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm also saying I wouldn't be surprised if he was the first of many, especially during moving season with a few weeks to go in the transfer window.
Okay, let's get back to what he thought his team did well. They dominated the ball at times.
I don't know if they dominated the ball or any parts of the pitch where it's going to hurt you, but at the end of the day, I didn't see that much difference. I think their pressing was strange for me, because there's times when they're tactically, they're really good shape. I don't care where you press, as long as you press together. And that's a decent shape where the back four, there's no spaces there at all. But then they slowly but surely started to get it wrong. That they pressed in it with individuals. That pressure needs to be put on the pivot there. The pivot, one pass there, and they puts 4 players out of play, and City get out easy. And then that happened. That was a pattern that actually started to grow in the game. This is like how high the back four are here, and this is where they press together. Look, there's bodies there. It goes back. There's another. They're all engaged. When you press, you have to press in 2s and 3s, and they force them to play long. Consequently, they win the ball back. There wasn't enough for me. I didn't see a different Chelsea or anything like that. I see them have a bit of possession. They looked a threat. It looked as if they had a danger in and around the penalty area. But for me, I didn't see a massive change. It's only one game, let's be fair. And I think they've got easier games to go into. And
you think they could be using Cole Palmer better, don't you?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I don't like to see him just start out wide and be allowed to come drifting in. In the second half, I don't know whether it was the manager or he just said to himself, I'm going to get the ball. Because somebody said on commentary, you need him on the ball. And that means he needs to be in the hub of the team, where people are feeding him, and he's getting the ball twice as much. Things will happen. He's not perfect, but things will happen off him. There's their fixtures. On paper, look, it's not too bad if you had them fixtures. So playing like they did today, the manager's thinking, if we play similar to that today, get the pressing right a little bit, we'll have too much for them teams. That's what he's thinking.
But Cole Palmer was so focal to what Chelsea did last season. Do you concur with Glenn that for large parts we saw him almost hugging the touchline today? You'd like to see him in a more influential role.
Yeah, I mean, but Chelsea have bought so many players that can play in that position, haven't they? And you know, you've got players that aren't even in the squad that can play in that position too. You know, we just mentioned players like Raheem Sterling. Yes, I'm sure the manager has watched last season. They've watched how good he was and the position he played in and everything else. And you would just think that if you're going to have, you know, I've not been a manager, but you would surely think when you're picking a team, you think, right, my best players in their best positions. And after a little while, you sort of fit around it, but you're not going to, you know, push your best players into unfamiliar positions. If I was a manager, he'd be first on my team sheet in his favoured position, and then I'd work around it. But it seems like they've bought so many players that they're trying to shuffle the pack. We heard the manager before the game say Cole Palmer can play in any of those 5 positions across the front. And I'm sure he can. But I would prefer him to be at his best and getting more of the ball, as Glenn said, in a more central area.
OK, when we come back, we will hear from Pep Guardiola.